Us here at Metro Bank in Holborn, our flagship store. I'd like to say thank you to the Buy to Let event hosted by Shane and Selvan. I hope you enjoy it. Please feel free to mingle, have a drink outside, pick up some of our leaflets and come speak to any of us that you see wearing the Metro pin. We'll be more than happy to help you.
I've spent some time as a management consultant at IBM. My son's been a stockbroker before the market crashed. We've done various things, and again, I had a number of business interests. UMEX Securities was a business as well. But in all of this time, in all the different, I guess, sort of lives that I've had and the different careers that I've gone through, I've always invested in properties. When I was a stockbroker, whenever I happened to make some money, again, without any, ended up putting my bonuses and things like that into properties because, again,
I studied law at university. I then went on to do a legal practice course. I was working in a solicitor's firm thereafter. And then I actually fell into property investment. Now the idea was actually join a property investment company, hopefully work with some solicitors and try and secure a training contract. What I found when working at that property investment company is that the clients that were buying property were earning more property than actually their full-time jobs. And actually some of these clients were solicitors as well. So what I started to do is acquisitions, kind of put the legal career on hold, and I thought actually let's focus on some good stock for these investors. So my speciality in the property industry was actually finding really good properties in areas of growth, a lot of the time off market, and actually giving to investors so they can invest and make some really good returns on it. This led to the birth of Investment Buy to Let. So sort of 10 years in the industry working for a number of different property investment companies. There was a niche in the market for someone that wants to spend some money and make a good return on it through buying properties, finding the type of property for them to invest in as a buy to let and making it as hassle-free as possible. Now the other niche in the market was working with a number of different developers and vendors and trying to actually deliver them really good exit strategy. The birth of Investment Buy to Let was simply to bring these developers and motivated buyers together.
So we definitely are. We are a UK-focused buy-to-let investment specialist. We generally tend to, work with someone in their early 20s, but we can go right up to, 65. We work with a panel of independent financial advisors, and our IFA was even able to get someone in their sort of 70s, 75s mortgages, which again we work with, and it's very much a bespoke service. So you don't normally just come to us and say, I'd like a property, and then we say, well, here's a list of properties that we have, pick one. We can do it that way. That's, I guess, what estate agents do. We position ourselves as buyer's agents. So we like to get an understanding of what you would like. We get an understanding of what you would like to do in the future. We put a plan in place to work with you and say, well, what does that property mean to you? What can that mean to you? Is it a retirement plan, education plan? Is it someone's wedding plan sometime in the future? That's what we call it, armchair investing. What we would typically do is we'll source a property that fits your criteria. We would work with you in getting the financing right. As I say, we have independent financial advisors. We get a panel of IFAs that we work with. We'll work with you with the conveyancing. So again, we have a panel of solicitors and lawyers that sort of help. So we'll work with you in actually purchasing the property. Then we'll find tenants and we'll manage the property. So when you buy through us, it ought to be a completely hassle-free experience. We will manage every aspect of the property purchased. Our property management company, we cover properties nationwide. We'll speak a little bit more about it, but again, and it's not just for the properties that we sell to you. We can certainly take over existing property portfolios and offer.
So we just thought we'd speak briefly about how we actually get these opportunities. So is 86 independent points of research for each opportunity. So we would try and home in to exactly where is the best place to invest. And each one of our opportunities, once we've agreed it, what we would do is we would do a 2-year cash flow projection forecast. So what we would do is we would take into account void periods, we would take into account any contingencies, we would take into account a higher interest rate on your mortgage, and we just map out how that property will look and perform over a 2-year period. So we can safely say to an investor that, look, as long as you've got X amount of money to A, acquire the property, and B, to manage the property thereafter with all the contingencies in place, this is how the figures should look for you on a realistic worst case scenario basis. Now, because we're that confident with our research, what we do is we guarantee the results. We would offer a rent guarantee on that property. What the rent guarantee means is that as soon as you purchase the property, if it's not rented within a certain period of time, then we will pay the rent for you until it is rented. Another one of the guarantees that we offer, an exit guarantee. So within 36 months of you purchasing that property, we will help you refinance it or sell it, capital appreciation guarantee. So the price that you pay for a property today through us, we guarantee that it will be worth more in a year's time. Again, we can do that because we've positioned our investors really well with the properties that we're securing.
We find your buy-to-let property, we can do the financing for you, arrange legal services. If you have already got an existing portfolio, either have existing buy-to-let investment portfolio, they're paying the wrong interest rates at the moment because again they've got these mortgages out a while ago, and obviously interest rates are pretty much at the lowest that they have been for decades. And so it does make sense simply to refinance. You don't necessarily have to release any new money out, you don't have to release any equity. Some people just simply want to refinance. And again,
right, how close out of Wakefield, in Wakefield?
No,
I
so
know
it's
Wakefield
out of
really well,
Wakefield.
so
Sorry?
I know Wakefield really well.
Oh, you know Wakefield. So it's actually in an area, so it's Featherstone, Fitzwilliam, that sort of area.
Right, okay. And so you've actually got supporting surveyors who are actually, going to valuers that are going to support these when people go to apply for mortgages.
Absolutely, yeah. So ultimately, when someone actually buys that property, the surveyor will go in there and say, this property is worth £78,000 because that's the price you're paying for the property. But we only do small proportions of properties on sites. We don't tend to take a whole site on and make it full of investors. So we know that the majority of the site is actually owner-occupiers. We also know that the majority of sales that have taken place, people have paid the list price for it. We don't advertise on Rightmove, we don't advertise on Zoopla, we are very much off-market. We don't compete with developers, we have motivated buyers ready to buy these sorts of deals, and ultimately it's underpinned by the research that we do.